everyone, it's Joy here for Crafty Meraki, and today I'm going to show you how to create this gift card that will go on the front of your regular card. So I have my pieces here die cut. I have my background piece, a tag from my stash, and a little pocket die from my stash, and then I have the peony die that I've already die cut. I've die cut everything from the Watercolor Whimsy and For the Love of Flowers pattern paper. I was showing that I had already glued a couple little pieces down before I hit record, so I apologize for that, but I'm going to get the rest of these pieces, which in the die you get a layering guide, so it's really super easy to put this together. I die cut this from a kind of like a, it's not completely solid yellow, it has some variations of yellow. Although I can't remember if it was from the Watercolor Whimsy or For the Love of Flowers, but one of those two paper pads has some solid colors. So I did the yellow for the flower, and then the leaves are kind of a bluish turquoise color. And there's some layering with the leaves, but I did not do that, and I did not do the small bud, because where I'm going to put the flower, it didn't have room for a lot of flowers. So I'm keeping it simple with one large flower here. But we're going to be doing some fun distressing on all of our pieces of our card here. But I do want to get the flowers together. But here's that layering piece that I actually opted to not do because I'm going to be doing the distressing. So I felt like it just really didn't need that. So I'm going to put that aside. Then here's this little pocket die. I'm going to score on the two sides and the bottom. And on those back pieces is where the adhesive will go, but this is where our little tag is going to slide into. So just like this, and that will be on the front of our card. But we need to distress these things. So this background piece is slightly smaller than an A2 size. That's how I trimmed it down. I'm going to take my scissors and just run it across the sides of the paper, bending up the edges, getting some little tears, which is what I want. If you don't get a tear, just use your scissors and make a little slit, and then just kind of rub your scissors along that. So I want to have a really good rough edge. This is our background piece. Again, this is slightly smaller than A2 size, so when you adhere it to your card panel, it's going to be, you're going to have a white matte border around it, which is what I was going for. So there's the background there. I'm going to bend this up just a little bit, even though you're really not going to see most of it, but I still wanted to do that. I'm going to do the same thing here on the tag. I'm not going to go quite as heavy as I did on that background piece. I'm going to keep it a little bit lighter, but I'm still doing a good amount of distressing. This is a really easy way to give your card some visual interest just by distressing the paper. We're also going to be adding some ink, so you don't even have to add ink. You could just distress it and leave it like this, but I'm going to add ink. I'm going to do a little bit of distressing to the little pocket here, nothing overly crazy, because I don't want to accidentally ruin it where you can't slide your tag in, so I'm going to be careful with that. I'm just going to rough up a little bit on the flowers. It didn't work as well, so I decided to bend the pieces. So when I glue my flower together, I only add glue to like the center part. That way all the edges can lift up. Same thing with the leaves. They were so small, I was just going to end up ripping off a leaf. So I just kind of just bent it a little bit. Then I'm going to take Vintage Photo Distress Oxide ink and just lightly running over where I bent it and it has creases, and that's going to catch the ink. And because I bent some of those petals of the flowers, that will catch the ink as well. So I'm going to just rub my ink pad over that, then over the edges of all of my other pieces. So the little pocket here, I'm going to go a little bit heavier in the corners, but I love the distressing against that beautiful floral background. It looks so vintage, and I think that's really the look that I was going for with this card, and these pattern papers definitely lend to that side. And then you add this fun distressing, it totally looks vintage. So I'm just gently adding some lines and areas on the tag there, and then the background I'm going to go decently heavy. I definitely want to catch the areas where you have the slit in the paper. I'm definitely going to catch the areas that I kind of bent the paper with. The corners I definitely want a little bit heavier. So I'm just aiming for that. Then I thought it would be fun to do a little bit of splatter. So I'm going to splatter the background, although I think you end up not even seeing it. I probably should have concentrated it more to the upper corners where it would have been seen more. I just kind of was naturally doing it in the center, and I think you didn't see it. But you do see it on the flowers and the leaves, and I do a little bit on the tag as well. So just giving it a little bit of extra something. I did a little bit on that pocket, but because it's so busy with the florals, I didn't really notice it. So let's just add a little bit at the top and bottom of the tag, and then here, and then I'm like, I don't even see it, so I'm not even gonna continue. Let's add some tape to the little back pieces of our pocket. This is double-sided tape. It's about 1/8 of an inch, and it fits perfect back there. And then I'm just going to pull the release paper off, and then I can adhere this to the bottom of that card panel. Place that down. I think it looks so pretty already. I love that. Then the sentiments are from the EAP Gilded Greetings, and then there's the coordinating die. I've already die cut these out from like the paper pad, and the die cut just lines up with all of the sentiments. I distressed it with that vintage photo. I'm going to line up my tag. I want to see 2 of the sentiments. I want to hide the word hugs, so you have to pull that up. So it's going to say sending you, and then hugs will be at the bottom. So I'm going to adhere these down while my tag is inside of my pocket. And then that will give me a good idea of where those are going to go. And I'm just going to do them a little bit wonky. But I love having them distressed a little bit. It just kind of took down that bright white background, which I did not want. And then I can place the hugs down here a little bit lower, and that will hide when you stick it in the pocket. Super cute, super easy, but it's so pretty. Those pattern papers are so pretty. I have some hemp cord here. I'm going to pull a string, a good amount out. I do trim off extra, so I probably didn't need it this long. But I'm going to, I have the 2 ends together that I'm going to bring the bottom loop up. I'm going to place that through and then wrap that around the end piece. Trim that loop, and then like I said, I do trim a little bit of that off. It's just a little bit long. And I'm going to take that same vintage photo ink to the string, just a little bit. Foam adhesive is going to go behind my flower here. I'm going to place it at the bottom, and the leaves I can just kind of tuck in. So it just gives us a little something extra, and I don't want to cover up all of that beautiful flower patterned paper in that pocket. I think it's so pretty. And then that tag can slide in here, and this will be adhered to a white A2 size card base. And then I added a few of the Golden Illusion gems. Thank you guys so very much for stopping by and watching. I hope you enjoyed this project, and I hope you have a great day.